Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wine and Wardrobe with Rayne. That's me, broadcasting to you from my living room. This episode is a little bit different. I'm actually going to have Kate Redmond from the Style Coaching Institute interview me. She is amazing. She has so much heart. And one of the reasons why I got certified from the Style Coaching Institute was because I had a heart for people and not just fashion. So it's not just necessarily about getting them in cute clothes, it's really transforming them from the inside out. So if you've ever had or hired a personal stylist, have read all the image consulting books, and maybe you've gone shopping with a personal shopper and you get in these great outfits, but then you get them home and it doesn't quite feel like you, style coaching may be for you. So I'm going to talk about all my past experiences with that, how you personally can benefit from style coaching and how it has made me a better stylist. And of course, I want to introduce you all to Kate Redmond because she's been such a mentor to me in my style journey since 2016, and I love her so much. All right, guys, so here's a little bit about Kate. Usually I can print it out and read it to you to make it look like I memorized it, but I'm out of ink. So I'm just gonna read it to you from my phone. All right, here's a little bit about Kate. Kate Redmond is not only one of my mentors and favorite sweet peas, but she is the managing director of the Style Coaching Institute and community leader of the International Association of Style Coaches. In early 2005, Kate teamed up with Tracy Redmond, who I also know she's amazing, co-founder of the Style Coaching Institute, to creatively design and co-author the very first online style coach diploma course. This exceptional program, which continues to evolve each year, is currently being studied in more than 95 countries, making it the most widely studied image training course in the world today. Over the last 15 years, Kate has played a pivotal role in successful training over 1,700 style coaches, me being one of them, through e-learning, as well as through live training courses hosted in the UK, Ireland, Asia, Italy, and throughout the Middle East. Kate is a passionate career coach and mentor. Yes, she is. I can speak from personal experiences, specializing in helping style and image professionals to launch and grow their own successful businesses. Kate and her partner Tracy were recently crowned Health and Beauty Entrepreneurs of the Year in Great British Entrepreneur Awards. From publishing books to developing websites and e-learning platforms to monthly videos, production and production design, it's fair to say that Kate has her hands in all things creative. And as a full-time working mother of 2 boys, multitasking has become her middle name. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop on over to the interview.
Hi, Rayne. I'm so pleased to be here.
I'm so happy to be here as well. You know, I want to give you a big virtual hug, a hug in person, but that's not capable, so I'll take this.
Oh, I wish we could. But I've been so excited, Rayne, about this interview because, you know, for the audience at home, I should say straight up that you are just one of my favorite people on the planet. Whenever one of your emails comes through to my inbox, I'm like, yay, because every message that you send has this beautiful positive energy, and you always express yourself with so much optimism, which I just love. I remember, of course, that you featured in one of our graduate success stories about 3 years ago. But since then, you've been super busy with starting a beautiful family, and now you're a working mom, just like me, trying to juggle your career with motherhood and taking care of little one at home. So I totally feel you. I've been there, and it's not an easy job at all. So I couldn't wait, you know, to have this catch up with you and find out what life's been like recently for you and how your personal styling business is going. And of course, with everything that's been happening with COVID-19, I was also really keen to find out what you're doing to stay connected with your clients at the moment and keep things moving in a positive direction. So first up, I've obviously been following your work for a long time, but anyone who doesn't know you very well, can you share with us a little bit about your personal styling business and the awesome services that you offer?
Sure, absolutely. I started out as a stylist around 2010, so I can't believe it. It's been about a decade. And when I originally got into the business, it was all about making people over for dates. So I emailed all of the matchmaking agencies in town, and that's kind of how I personally started. And I was like, how can I help their clients and help the agencies at the same time attract the love that they want? And now we use it obviously for a better job and all that kind of stuff. But yes. I originally started with making people over to find new love later in life. And
Oh,
since then, it's just grown so much. I've written a book, Ultimate Guide to Style from Drab to Fab. I got certified with you guys. And I do virtual styling now. I do in-person still as well. Closet audits. I know they're not very popular right now because we can't go in person, but they're still one of my
oh,
favorite things.
of course they are.
Yes. And then, of course, there is the personal styling and shopping part as well. Right now, I'm also doing videos for Nordstrom
That's
about their
fantastic.
products. So I'm learning a lot of fashion vocabulary words that is in the book that you gave us so long ago. And I was like, hey, I recognize that
Oh,
word.
oh, bless you, Rain. So you're referencing it all the time.
I carry around the book sometimes with me. And even though we got certified, or I got certified, 5, 6 years ago, there's so much information in there that just like when you all have a client or when you're working with someone, sometimes it doesn't resonate with you till years later, but your brain knows it's there. So it's like, I
I
think
know.
that's in my style coaching institute book. Let me go grab that book real quick.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you're enjoying them to this day because I always say, to put them on your shelf and whenever you have some issue come up with your client, you can always grab them out, flick to the right page and you've got some, I guess, some guidance on the step-by-step things that you can do if you're ever in trouble.
Absolutely. And another thing with social media being obviously you have to always post and you always have to have something to say. Sometimes literally I am just burnt from watching the baby and working all day. I'm like, I cannot even put a sentence together. So literally I'll
I
take
know.
my Style Coaching Institute book, open it up and be like, what can I do to help somebody? Oh, let's post this on body types right now. Copy, change it
Oh,
a little bit to my vocabulary words, post,
yes.
good night.
Oh, fantastic. I think I need to do more of that myself, actually, Rain. Clearly, you're very passionate about what you do. And I know that you're one of these amazing people who just keeps looking for the next exciting step that you can take in your personal journey. So, my next question is where do you visualize taking your business in the next few years?
My next step would obviously be doing more video and connecting that way. So whether it's doing free tips for the YouTube, I'm also starting a new podcast with the celebrity psychologist. So again, it's more mixing our fashion with the psychology of why we do things. So I'm really excited about that. And just doing more video to connect with people because I really feel that's how I shine a lot. And I've just been
Yeah.
stopping myself for so long because I didn't have the right studio or the right microphones. I just was like, forget it. I'm doing it. Let's do it. And I would also love to offer an online class for people. So when they do find me through the YouTube videos or the podcast, then they can have an online version if they can't afford or
Exactly.
want to work with me one-on-one personally that way.
Yes, exactly. I think that flexibility at the moment is so important, particularly with COVID being the way it is. That ability to pivot your business is so vital.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. I mean, I think we can all look back on our lives and see these forks in the road where we make a decision and it changes everything, especially in business, of course. And I often wonder what life would have been like if I wasn't in a certain place at a certain time, etc. Kind of like that movie Sliding Doors.
Love that
So,
movie.
yeah, exactly. I have to go back and watch that one again, I think. So I was wondering, Rain, was there a specific turning point in your own life that made you decide to become a personal stylist? Or was there something that really motivated you to follow this career path specifically? Or did it maybe just like evolve over the years, one thing leading to another? So how did that go for you?
I was 30 years old, living in my parents' garage, and it was a converted garage, and I love my parents to death. But
Yeah.
being at 30, you hopefully have your own career already started and you're already making money, being able to support yourself. However, I pursued in my 20s stand-up comedy and the entertainment business. So I came to
Right.
a halt where I had a sitcom and I pitched it to all the networks, and unfortunately they passed. But I just was kind of over that chapter of my life. I was over walking
Mhm.
around town with a headshot. I outgrew that phase. I was over
Right.
sitting around in the comedy clubs, always trying to get my next joke. I was just looking for something different. So
Right.
in addition
Interesting.
to me just pausing, and I was teaching myself how to juggle, I was teaching myself Microsoft Word, Excel, which I'm still not great at. And in the meantime, I said, okay, I'm just going to say yes to anything that comes my way because I don't know how to restart. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm good at. I have no idea. And I got an email through my fit modeling agent, which how I put myself through college was I worked for clothing companies as a fit model. So I would show up and I'd be like, hey, let's take the bra in here. Let's, this is itchy. Let's like put it around. And he
Interesting.
offered a free business seminar. And she's like, I know, no, many of you don't have businesses, but it's like rock star status. Just come. And of course I just said yes. And I went, and out of 500 people, I ended up winning a business consultation with one of the top consultants there.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was so excited, but I was like, hey, dude, I don't have a business. And he's like, it's okay, we can fix that. And he started to ask me questions and like, well, what are you good at? What are you doing this? And I was like, well, I love to shop a lot. I currently make over all of my friends for dates because a lot of them were, late 20s at the time looking for their significant others. So I said, hey, girl, we can't still wear the mini skirt showing our private parts that we wore when we were 21 if we're trying to find our significant others at late 20s 30s. He's like, okay, Kim Kardashian made as a personal stylist, that's what you're going to do. And literally I just said, I was just in a place of yes, and I just started trying it. And I said, okay, well, since I make over my friends for dates now, I'm just going to hit up all the matchmaking agencies and see what happens. And here I am 10 years later.
Oh, wow. And the rest is history.
Yeah, I know that was a little long, but it's so important for people to understand no matter what chapter you are in your life, you can always reinvent yourself.
Absolutely.
And even as a stylist, I look at some of the work that I did in, 10 years ago, and I'm like, I'm still reinventing myself as a stylist again and again and again, and using the tools I learned from you guys. It's like life coaching skills as well. So it never goes out of style.
Well, exactly. I always think about my past lives, I call them, Rayne, because each time you reinvent yourself, it's like you've got another past life to add to the storybook.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
So that was a wonderful answer. But my next question is basically where both of our individual paths first crossed one another back in 2015, 2016, thereabouts. And I was wondering, what made you choose to study style coaching over the other forms of traditional image consultancy, personal shopping, personal styling? And by the way, I am so glad that you did choose style coaching. But, what was it about it that really got you excited and inspired enough to train with us?
One of the things is I, just like when I first started personal styling for matchmaking agencies, I contacted everybody in town because I wanted to make sure to pick the best one, to pick the right fit. And that was the niche that I wanted to go in. So when I was reaching out to different schools and I was interviewing them, you were one of the ones that actually booked a consultation, and I was able to talk with you in person.
Right, okay. It makes a huge difference when you can actually connect with another human.
And that's another thing. It's like a lot of the other institutions are like, okay, if you pay me money, you'll go through different modules and then you'll get your certification. And there's no community there, and there's no one-on-one relationship. And so that's one of the things that I was just like, okay, I talked to Kate. She's amazing. She was so kind and courteous. Anytime I email you, and notice, I did not give you any money at this point, but you were already coaching me and mentoring me. So one of the things that my mentor taught me was if you give away such great information for free, the people that you work with, you'll get more clients and will trust you, because if you can get all of this for nothing, imagine what you can do if you're paid for it or whatever. So
I know.
A lot of the times I'm just looking for that real relationship. So that's definitely the fact that you talked to me in person and you were so kind and courteous before you ever got a dime from me. I was like, sign me up and I'll give you all my money.
Oh, no, you're lovely, Rayne. And I must say, over the years that we've known each other, you have been such a ray of sunshine, and it's been so lovely having you in our community. And you're always, like I say, bringing so much optimism to the table. So, no, I'm so glad that you're here with us.
And that's another thing. Sorry, that's another thing I wanted to hit on is if you are a stylist or a personal stylist and you don't really care about the labels in the business, that is one thing that you guys just offer so much. I kindly found like my place, because it's so much more about the transformation and the psychology and the human conditioning, how you benefit people versus putting them in an outfit.
Exactly, exactly. You've captured that, Rain.
Okay.
Fantastic. The other question I had was, how has style coaching changed that you personally were working as a personal shopper and a personal stylist? Because I know that a lot of personal shoppers out there might be wondering, what's the difference between the way that a style coach works? So I was wondering, what are some of the ways that you personally have integrated all of these holistic skills into the way that you work?
So I do also work, I have been a personal stylist. I've worked for, even though right now I'm doing product videos for Nordstrom as well as digital styling for them, I also still take appointments in there. And one of the reasons why I'm so successful is because I don't just, like we were saying before, put in outfits that are trendy or this and that. Before the consultation, I always get to know what chapter are they on in their life. And another thing, you can't just throw in outfits, because like you said in the Style Coaching Institute book, the makeover that you see a lot, they're going to go back to their ruts or the things, their bad habits. So a lot of it is the why. So when I pull for a room, or for, as like a personal shopper would do, I do a cohesive color palette analysis. So anything, 95% of the items that they would buy will work. So if they take this bulk of clothes, they can intermax everything. So I think a lot of the time that's what personal shoppers don't understand, is coloring and doing a cohesive closet versus just selling them the expensive pair of jeans to make their commission.
Yes. So true. It's so true. And then I find that once you have that cohesiveness in the wardrobe, it makes dressing well effortless. And so the client can just go to their wardrobe and everything will go nicely together. And then they can get a bit more creative with mixing and matching. Actually, they need a lot less items in their wardrobe because everything works so well together that you can create so many different outfits, in this kind of capsule idea.
Yep.
So yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
Understanding the why things look good as well. So I know a lot of times if you go to see a personal shopper, they're like, oh my gosh, that looks great, or this and that. And yes, it may look great, but we have to understand the why. So a lot of the times in the session, I'll point out, hey, you have if you have a bigger bust, these are what you have to stay away from, because if you go on this print, it's going to make our bust look even bigger and versus. So a lot of the times I'm explaining a lot of the things, why certain things work. If they say, oh my gosh, I love this top that I have in my closet and I can't get rid of it. Okay, well, let's find out why. Then when they go to dress by themselves, they'll understand why they're choosing certain things, and that will help them make better choices in the future.
It's right, exactly. I mean, because I often see it, Rayne, as you're educating your client constantly and you're empowering them with self-styling skills that will last them a lifetime.
Absolutely.
So, Rayne, from your experience working with your clients over the years, do you tend to notice any sort of added benefits that style coaching offers your clients, like above and over the usual wardrobe makeover, in terms of the confidence side of it? Do you notice that you're able to help people more with that side of things now than you were before, or how has it changed?
Sure, absolutely. I love to share this, again, a little bit of embarrassing story. So when I first started styling, there was this one woman who, she was about 25 and she had a classic style personality. So she liked solid colors and she wore all black, right?
Right.
And I was like, hey, here, and I did a color analysis on her. And this is when, old school, I was still using the drapes and I only used the 4 seasons. Now we know we always go by 12. I was only using 4 seasons, and she was a summer color palette. So she looked great in a lot of pastels. So I took her from wearing all black to a shopping session to literally, it was like all pastels and a few black pants and that. And it was a lot of prints and patterns. And then she bought the stuff and I was like, wow, you look so great, this and that. I took photos and she did look great. She brought it home, and then the stylist, that when I book appointments, I'll always call the stylist there because I love to have them help, and I book a private room. So she called me, she's like, hey, I just wanted you to know your client returned everything that she bought with you. And I was like, what?
Oh no.
And I felt so bad. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I don't want to invade your personal privacy, but what was it about the session? What happened?
Yeah.
And she's like, I just can't see myself in those colors and this and that. So after taking the Style Coaching Institute, it was because I wasn't listening to her.
Right.
I took her from 0 to 100 in one session.
Okay.
And now that I know you can't do that, sometimes it's a process. So a lot of the times I'm listening to say, where are they? What classic personality? I took her from a classic personality to a creative.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. I wanted to have
Yeah,
her
of
just like, I
course.
want to step out of my comfort zone. So you can't really take someone from 0 to 100. Now I say, okay,
Exactly.
we're still going to dress. So I retook her shopping, and
Fantastic.
she's been with me ever since. And
Oh, has
she's probably
she?
shopped with me and her mom 4 or 5 times since then. And we got her all solid colors. I took her from some blacks to really deep navies and deep charcoals. So
Oh,
now
great
she can
idea.
coordinate that. And a lot of if it was a print or pattern, it was very small in the earring or
Right.
scarf. And she
Okay.
loves it now. So
Oh, that's
I'm sorry,
fabulous.
I get so excited about it. But anyways, that's how style coaching, learning what I did,
Yeah.
you guys, that has helped me be a better listener. How are
Right.
they learning? Do they learn by touch? Do they learn by auditory? Do they learn by visual? And I'm
Yes, so
a lot
interesting.
better listener than I was 10 years ago
Right.
before taking your class.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I love that story, Rayne. That's brilliant. So I was thinking back to before I got started in my own career with style coaching. And I remember that I actually used to feel very anxious whenever I had a social gathering or a meet up with friends, or if I had to go for like a wedding invite or something like that. I would be so worried about it. I'd be thinking, oh my God, what am I going to wear? And it would almost put me off of going out and socializing because I wouldn't know what I was going to wear.
Yeah.
But since style coaching, obviously that's turned into, fantastic, I get to enjoy dressing up for this special occasion. That's half the fun of it. And there's absolutely no anxiety. It's effortless now. It's just a joyful expression of myself through my clothing choices. So I was wondering, that was my experience. But Rayne, in terms of your own day-to-day life, your own wardrobe, your own shopping habits for yourself, have you found that your knowledge of style coaching has made your life any easier? And particularly now with motherhood, do you think that it's helped to solve any problems that you might have previously experienced in the past?
Absolutely. And here's the thing, to recognize again, like what style personality you are.
Yes.
So me being a creative style personality, I'm just never going to work with getting myself into a 20-piece capsule. Like I will just be bored to death.
Yeah.
And
Whereas that would totally work for me.
no, it just works. Like for a lot of my lawyers, we get them 20, 25 pieces and they're fine for 6 months. And because they're so focused on
Right.
doing other things. So it's not for everybody. And
Yes.
when I look into my closet, I know I have the tools to fix it. So of course I am human. Sometimes my closet gets messy. Sometimes I buy things, on sale and I get it home. I was like, why did you do that? You're
We've
not
all
going
been
to wear
there.
this. You just bought this because it was on sale. You know better. If you were
Yeah.
coaching yourself, what would you tell yourself differently? So a lot of the times it's me backtracking to say, okay, what would I tell myself if I was my own client? And then, so after I had the baby, it was like, was I going to wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to get back into the shape that I was pre-baby? Or was I going to dress for the body that I have now and feel good about myself today?
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
And that was another thing that also I knew better. So I was like, no, I'm going to go out and buy some pants for 2 sizes bigger and I'm going to look cute in them.
Absolutely. And enjoy the body that you have right now because, it's such a precious time when you've got your, newborn baby and your body has been through such an amazing, incredible journey that, you can't describe it to anyone who hasn't gone through it. You just can't describe how amazing it is what your body is capable of. So I think it's also about sort of appreciating and having that self-love after coming through such a journey through, motherhood and beyond. So it's wonderful that you were appreciating that and honoring it.
Absolutely. And reframing is literally something that I use every single day. So if you're just looking, obviously reframing is, for example, oh my gosh, my stomach is so big right now from having the baby versus my amazing body, my amazing tummy carried this beautiful baby boy from start to finish. And girl, if you're 2 sizes bigger, who cares? You have an amazing stomach that did its job. Amen.
Exactly. Amen. Amen. Fabulous. So, Rayne, my next question for you is kind of along the same lines, I guess, but I was wondering, what are some of the most impactful things that you learned from becoming a style coach? And has it prompted any sort of personal growth for you as a person?
One of the things most recently is to recognize what is holding me back. So a lot of the times
Right.
when someone will reach out to me or whatever, they say, sometimes they'll say, I really want to, they'll fill out the form, they'll do all this stuff. And they say, I really want to do this, but I just want to wait until I lose 10 pounds and then I'm going to contact you again. And then
Right. Okay.
why? Why do you want to wait so long? Because literally, I have had people that have hit me up every 6 months because I don't forget, right? And they're
Yeah, of
like, no,
course.
I still haven't lost the 10 pounds. So just like me dressing for the body I have now, you can wait
Mhm.
years before you act upon something.
I know.
And every month before COVID, I would get together with two other women that also have their own businesses. And every month I would say, you know what, this is the month I really want to do video and I want to do YouTube shows or start a podcast or something. And literally it's been every month. And I was like, why? What the heck? I just need to do it. If
I
I was
know. We
coaching
all put,
myself,
yeah.
I would say, you're never going to have the right studio. You're never going to have the
Mhm.
right microphone. You're never going to really know how to operate this light and that light and that light. So
Yeah.
you
You
learn
just
when
have
you
to
do
get
it.
started. Yeah.
You just have to get
I,
started. And so I
you
really
do.
feel I've gotten so much great feedback with the little wine and wardrobe show that I'm doing, reconnecting with people and with clients. And here we are talking because I stepped out of my comfort zone and I took the tools that I
100%.
learned from Style Coaching Institute. Don't wait for the perfect timing to do everything. Just
No.
work with what you have now and make it fabulous.
You're so right, Rayne. I mean, because I have to say this to myself all the time because, I say, don't let perfection come in the way of progress because I'm such a perfectionist of things that I can put all these obstacles in front of me and just moving forwards, just taking those baby steps. And I think particularly when it comes to video or with virtual styling, anything where people are being recorded, it can be such a jump outside of their comfort zones. Like say, get started with the equipment that you have, get started with where you are right now. And, once you've got that little bit of momentum started, then it leads to, really fabulous things as you're gaining confidence. So I know there's going to be lots of lovely ladies and gents too, of course, listening into this video. So, they might be listening to the conversation that we're having and thinking about possibly starting their own career in style coaching and things like that in the future. So, Rayne, what would you honestly say and what advice would you give to other people who are thinking about taking a leap into a dream career like style coaching, for instance?
If you are looking for something deeper, my cat's in the background.
She's gorgeous.
If you are looking for something deeper than just putting together outfits, if you enjoy transforming other people's life and you're already currently doing that, if you have friends that call you for advice, whether it be life coaching or what should I do for this date or what should I wear for this job interview, then this career path is definitely for you. And no story is the same. You're going to take this Style Coaching Institute class and you're going to have all these tools. And then you may only use 5 tools today, but just like I was saying earlier, I'm now busting out some tools that I remember way back then that I'm also using today. So just
Right.
like anything, it's a journey. No journey is the same, but if you stick with it and you start, it will be so rewarding and worth all of the pain and suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Rayne. And lastly, before I let you get back to your lovely family and your day ahead, how can our audience today find out more about you, Rayne Parvis, and where can they find out more about your business, how to follow you online, etc.? So give us all the details.
Absolutely. My website is rayneparvis.com, and that's RayneParvis.com. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook at not the Rayne Parvis, at Rayne Parvis too.
Perfect. Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you so much, Rayne. I have enjoyed this chat. Isn't it amazing that we're on different sides of the world and we can still connect like this during these difficult times, and it's just that easy. How fantastic.
I love it so much. And the fact that you guys are always there. I love the community with the other women and men in the Style Coaching Institute. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to interview little me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. I can't even tell you. I love you, Rayne Parvis. You're my favorite.
I love
But don't
you.
tell anyone.
Bye.
Bye, girlfriends. Mwah.